Okay, now you guys know I've done a couple of videos back now talking about the benefits of coming to the BSA in Malta and probably how you can navigate that. Use that actually to navigate to another country of your choice in case you have preference. Maybe you have another place you're looking at to go to after your program here in Malta in case you don't want to stay long. So I've mentioned countries like Netherlands. It's a very straightforward one. You just need a little bit of a patience. I look at also that of Sweden. I've talked about that of UK, and I've talked that about Canada as well. Okay. Now to talk about that of the US. Well, the US, there's one thing I've always been telling people, even right from the very beginning, when I was talking about migration abroad. I don't dwell much on that of US because there's no amount of knowledge or the expert trade, the skills, whatever. Don't let anybody deceive you. The US is basically what you can do on your own, like what the things that would increase or come together to improve that visa approval rate. What do I mean here is that the US, oh, we know for sure it has to do with a physical interview. It's an interview where you have to visit the immigration officer and then you'll be asked questions. And now, so even if I prepared you, for instance, as an agent, or you meet one or two agents that equipped you with a basic information, you can say, possibly if you are asked those questions on those day of interview. And now this is not like other ones, like even in the case of Malta, there is visa interview, but it's always online. And so I think there's a bit of confidence when it comes to Malta because it's not something that will look all that strange. The questions are flexible, something they are easy to answer when it comes to Malta. But for that of the US, you will know how you are, particularly considering that the US is also getting tougher. You know that of the US, you cannot really judge the mindset of the interviewer. And so for you to get it, there are so many things you would do on your own to increase or improve your chances of getting that approval. It is not mostly based on what the agent will equip you with. So the one of the best way is your travel history has a lot of contributions to the factors that will determine that for you. This is why, if I want to look at this case of US, why I also choose to bring it up about BSA in Malta to US, it's because of the fact that I know for you to have come to Malta, you have been able to achieve one thing. You've created travel history for yourself, one step ahead. Like you compare to people that probably will be applying from, directly from their own country now. Nigeria, for example, there's every tendency that you that is applying from Malta to US will stand the upper hand because you find yourself in a country where the system works. You find yourself in a country where there's so many things that is quite different from where you're coming from. And then there are no histories about whether you violated any rules, criminal record or any kind. That means it shows how truly you can be a law-abiding person. That's the essence of the benefit, what this travel history will contribute. Now, I remember I was discussing with one of my uncle, and he just tried to reach out to me, telling me about some things. And then he said, just try. He was advising me only from his own. And this will basically be based on the information he has also been gathering that, do you know that what you should do now, that I should try as much as possible to visit France, to visit Netherlands, and maybe Germany or so. But he was particular about visiting Netherlands and France. He said if you're able to visit those two countries and that you can show proof that then maybe later I should then try US visa because once I can visit France and Netherlands, that I'll be able to get any US visa application that I submit that I will probably be applying for or that of the Netherlands. So it was coming up with those suggestions. And well, I will not tell you that what he said doesn't really make sense or is far from the truth. Of course, that's the essence of travel history. And the thing is, a country as a very standard country, big country like that of France, we all know it's a powerful country as well, and then Netherlands, then you're able to also visit Germany. So visiting them, though coming, that's you all know we talked about the beauties of coming to Malta as the benefit being part of a Schengen country. So you will have access to visit all the Schengen country visa free, 3 months in a 6 month. What does that mean? In that if you choose to stay in a particular Schengen country, you are only entitled to stay 3 months in a row, like straight 3 months inside a 6 month journey. That means if you have done 3 months already within a space of 6 months, at least before you should be visiting that particular country again, you should have gone past 6 months. So it means you can even do 3 months in this country, 3 months in another country, 3 months in another country. And then the first one, you've passed 6 months already. You can still revisit that first one. Or you're visiting, it's not up to 3 months altogether. So you can stay visit, you can still visit the country. Now, but what am I saying is that they know that US know there will be no reason for you to lie in case you want to say you travel to Germany, France, and Netherlands. When they see that you have a legal document coming from a Schengen country like Malta, they all know these people are not dummies. They know that what's there to benefit, what's there to gain. If you want to say you visit a country you didn't visit when you're actually in a Schengen zone, you have access to visit those places. It doesn't cost you anything other than buy a ticket or even buy. It could be a sea, it could be through train, it could be through flight. So they know it's possible. There's no reason for you to want to just cook up that kind of story. One. And two, why am I saying that is because for that of the US case, there's every tendency that you will not be able to get stamped each time you visit other Schengen country. You don't even have to be stamped each time you travel to other Schengen country. One country already stamped you in, like you are already in a Schengen country. So the rules among them is once you're being screened by one of the Schengen country, you have a free movement to go through the Schengen zone area to all the other Schengen country because like a collective system check. You get so what it means is that you will not be getting stamped every time you travel to any of the Schengen country. But this is the catch. This is how you should go about it. Anytime you visit any of the Schengen country, if luckily you are traveling through flights, I would suggest that always keep your flight tickets after you've gone and come back, maybe to Malta. Don't discard those kind of itineraries. Keep them safe. Keep them very well. Keep, if possible, scan and convert them to a PDF copy, save as a file. Then, if you are now opportune to buy one or two things in those countries you visit, you went to France, you bought some things in France, all those receipts for purchase in those countries, keep them safe. Those one really help more in case of that of Canada when you are not being interviewed in person, you are writing the statement out, and then by writing it, everything you mention, you show a proof for it. So you will be using document like that as a proof to back up your statement of purpose in case you are trying an application out for that of Canada. But that of the US, it is what they will tell you, what you are expressing, saying they will sense it from you. If it's possible, you would have a copy of those things with you to can you can even show them. So the beauty of the US is this. You know that US, most of the schools in US will not actually ask you to pay your tuition fee right from this place. So I want to give you this. That's the beauty of that of the US as well. They won't ask you to pay like your tuition fee. Most of them would only just ask you, you get an admission, you go for interview stage. Some might ask you to pay deposit, few deposit, and then you get there, you go and sort out your school stuff thing. Some would probably, not ask you for anything, hoping that you have showed the proof of those money with you in your statement of account. And then even on the days of interview to US, you are not going to be asked to show statement of account like as a student, except if they suspect a foul play from your expression, they may not ask you to bring it that they will send it back to you. But they are not supposed they don't mostly ask for statement of account on the days of interview. Those one that you would have uploaded them during the application process while you were applying for it. So you get well, the beauty of the US is that you don't have much pressures about statement of account. Yes, you will. The school will tell you just show a good sum of money in your account, equivalent of probably the living expenses. Basically, just show a very good sum of money in your account. Maybe don't let it be too a kind of a lump sum. So now, this beauty of that of the US is if you're not trying to do the US house, considering the stories, what I mentioned earlier, maybe try visit two or three out of the countries in this Schengen zone. Then once you're done with your BSc, and now another beauty is that USA actually it's not necessarily until you come for a BSc in Malta. Probably maybe you came in for an undergraduate, a diploma program of 1 year, a postgraduate program, a top-up program, or a master's program. So once you enter Malta, you're done with, even if it's 1 year program, the US is open to different There are different options in the US, just like Canada. US has so many program options. Okay, diploma program you can try to do more like a teaching career, but let's now focus on that you're a BSc holder, you finish your BSc, you can basically look out for schools. You know, the another beautiful thing is that you know that there are most of the schools, there are many schools in US that offer scholarship for masters, and they offer scholarship for PhD programs. Now you might not have difficulties getting that for masters. PhDs are kind of always, the competition is high, it takes a long time to get a fully funded for PhD program. So you might get 50% fully funded scholarship for a master's program. So even if you're not getting, you pick up a postgraduate or master's, that one can really increase your chance. People that, if you watch one of my old videos about people that stands the chance to get their visa approval when it comes to US, I mentioned people that are kind of very young and are going for master's program. Now, let's say luckily as a person, you're a very young chap, and then you came in here to do a master's. You came in here rather to do your BSc and you're done with your BSc. So you pick up a master's program in US with your BSc in Malta to master program, and you're still in a very good, age bracket. But you roses, you stand the chance of getting it. So pick up a good school, show a good sum of money. Now thank God you're working in Europe where there's everything they see you can save up to like 10,000 euros or thereabout a month after 1 year of finishing your school. So you have close to almost 15,000 euros. It's a good sum to show. Pick up in a very affordable school. Luckily, maybe you get a 50% scholarship or discount. If not, it still doesn't matter. Then go submit all your documents. There's everything there so you can get approved for that of the US. And so let's say, for instance, again, for those of you, I've met those following me. I think one or two of them keep like saying, okay, what about that of a nursing program to that of the US? It shouldn't be a big deal. Now, let me quickly chip in this as an opportunity. There is a caregiver program here in Malta. Recently, I got to know about it. The tuition fee is about 5,000 euro for a 1 year caregiver, and you would also be opportunity to do IT. Okay, 5,000 euro for the program a year. It's elderly care, and you're able to do IT. You will run the class for some few months, and then you will do IT for some few months. Okay, I think it's non-paid IT. So the beauty of it is, since you're able to do this kind of, you come in with such a caregiver. For those of you that are pursuing career in nursing, you come into it with a such caregiver program in Malta year, and you do it for 1 year. You hustle like 1 year. You save your school. You have visited like 2, 3 Schengen countries. Maybe the second year, you put in an application to US for their nursing program. You can look for a diploma in nursing in US that is 2 years program, and then you should be able to show something reasonable as a fund to pay for it, and couple with your work experience, as a caregiver and your qualification as a caregiver, you should be able to now match these two together and convince the immigration officer that you want to go higher, you want to go further by go into nursing proper after having passions to care for cater for people. You know, this is one of these very high demand occupation currently. So you can really get in. I'm telling you, for that, you stand a chance of getting in. There are other schools as well that are offering very affordable diploma program. Please watch out. Maybe you try to also send me a message in the comment section. Let me know if you would want something like that. I'll try to mention these two particular affordable schools I know. There are college program in US. I'm looking at those now that are probably pursuing undergraduate courses. These are very affordable undergraduate program in US. They are colleges. They are like community college as well. I think I'll come up with the proof of the schools. We'll look at the school together. You see, for some people, you can come in with a particular program for undergraduate 1 year, save, and then look at that school, pay the tuition deposit of that school. One of the schools, one out of those two schools, will ask you to pay tuition deposit of 1,000 US dollars before you even get an admission or stuff like that. And you do a lot of vaccines, text in conjunction with it. So these are schools that you can also consider. You now pick up a program that seems like career progressions or like career switch. You can then pick up any of those programs, try your luck on that, and then submit your application. Look for someone to pay for the visa fee for you, the US visa fee, the G1, what is it called, and in the end, go for your interview. And in fact, there's a branch of a consulate section, consulate office of UX. I think, yeah, they have one in Malta here. consular office where you can attend interview in person, and that would even be beautiful if you are going to apply for your interview, you are attending your interview in person, and then doing that. Okay, you are in Malta doing the interview, so it's easy for the immigration officer there to judge you by the availabilities of the things around you. To get, I think the US one too, it has a strong pre-approval rate once you're already in Malta and you're done with whatever program you want to do in West. And I imagine particularly people that are done with the BScs and then they were looking to get admission for a master's program. How convincing that would really be. And you actually visited Germany, you didn't run away. Netherlands, you didn't run away. France, you didn't run away. And then you back to Malta, you start living proper, you say, get your money. And then what else? It's possible. That's what you should consider. You should look at in case you want to look at PSA and Malta to US. Have that belief that you're already having an increased percentage approval rate to get approved to study in US, basically 70-80%. I know of a very close friend actually that have been discouraging her to go through the asylum process to US. She visited Germany and then she said from Germany she did a visitor visa to US and she got it. She's actually in US and I know maybe she's doing that Adoro stuff. But I don't know how true that is, but I now she is enjoying herself in US. That was basically before Donald Trump officially took over. So you get, now imagine where she said she did her visitor visa from. So you get, this is what I'm talking about. Subscribe to my channel in case you enjoy this and you feel like it makes sense to share to one or two of your friends. You can click on the like buttons and notification bell in case I post any new video so you'll be the first to get notified. And then it might be actually the content you're waiting for at that moment. Until we meet in my next video, let me say thank you for watching and bye for now. Ciao.